Hey, everybody. So, in the past, some of you may have heard me talk about one of my favorite TV shows, Goodnight Sweetheart. It's a British comedy about a guy who travels back and forth between present day, which was then the 90s, and World War II. And while he's back in World War II, passes himself off as like the world's greatest songwriter because he plays a bunch of Beatles tunes on the piano and claims he wrote them himself. Since I love that show so much, of course, I was going to be interested in Yesterday. The premise of which is that a man, a struggling musician, wakes up suddenly to find himself in a world where he's the only person who remembers the Beatles ever existed, and so claims their music as his own. It's actually a little funny because any British review or newspaper article or any British mention of Yesterday does point to Goodnight Sweetheart. And I actually saw an interview with the two creators of Goodnight Sweetheart. And one of them said, "Look, I just wish them the best of luck. It sounds like a fun movie. But my partner has hired hitmen." I thought that was cute. So I went and saw it, obviously, or else I wouldn't be making a video. And it was really good. I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as humanly possible. Uh, I've given you the basic premise. It's very enjoyable. First of all, I'm not even that big a music person, but I enjoy the Beatles. The tunes are great, and almost all of the soundtrack is composed of Beatles tunes. Kate McKinnon is in the film. She plays a soulless radio executive, and she does so with just such glee. It's really fun to watch her play a monster. There is a love story that runs throughout it that I could live without. And they also, there's a series of running gags, and I'm not going to ruin any of them specifically, but it turns out the Beatles aren't the only thing missing from the New World. There are other things, and he's the only person who remembers them, so there's some comedy gold in that. It's a very enjoyable film. It is somewhat predictable in the course that it takes, but there is a very, very strong emotional moment near the climax of the film. There's some good moments. It's a feel-good movie. It's not really breaking any new ground. It's not going to shock and amaze you, but it is pleasant, it is enjoyable, and it is funny. So, if you like things that are pleasant, enjoyable, and or funny, you might want to check out Yesterday. See you guys next time.